Good evening.
I thought you were doing the start.
No, oh yeah. Do you want me to do the start?
Yeah, do the start.
All right, let's do the start.
Good evening.
Throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed on me. I thought, what age are we? It's warm outside, and we all want shine. Bet you nobody in the city, 'cause they in the crib this time. Got pics on the way like a vacay. Shoot photo with a AK. Got friends by my side, trying to have a good day. And I why they don't chase. Yeah, but it's all on me. Let them roam free like a European. Yeah, see me pick up the phone like I'm trying to haul a home stone. I act like easy. Girl, rock them shades, not a can't see. Gonna run away, but I'm not speedy. Need no fake, I just want what's real. And I ride that way till I'm free. Straight on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Don't rage. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me. I thought, what age are we? What age? Trying to throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me?
Hello.
Take two. Good evening.
Good evening.
We got worse after that. I went over to the side to get me a glass of wine, and I dropped the glass of wine on the floor.
I hope everybody isn't going to expect a normal show tonight.
What's a normal show?
A normal show where we're all got loads of little clips and doing all this and doing that, because this is a different one. This is strip back, start from the beginning, because you know it's 12 months since we did the first show.
Is it? That sounds about right, actually. Yeah, first lockdown.
Yeah. Remember, we said, shall we start doing a live? And it was a Wednesday night, and we said, well, let's just go live.
Yeah.
Remember, the show that never was.
Yes.
I've seen how far we've come on since.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You've never seen how far we've come since. Have we come far?
Well, I think we have. We've done well. We've done some good shows, haven't we?
We have done, yeah, to be fair.
So, Georgia Connolly's in the house, Calvin Foster, Tom's Vlogs, Paul Joyce, Julie Brooks, Property TV Family on Tour, Towing the Tin, Northern Walker, Liz Donnelly, Lisa and Phil, Emery Brown, Liam. I'm going to struggle with that one, mate. Phil Boynt, Karen Dines, Anne Marsden, and Kevin S. We've actually got some people watching.
I know.
So basically we've come on 12 months, haven't we? We've done some good lives, haven't we?
We have, yes.
So we thought, let's strip everything back, start from where we started, have a chat. Anybody wants to ask us any questions? We're going to talk about a few things as well, aren't we? What's happening in the trade and what's happening throughout the industry, because people think it's a boom time for the industry, but it's also a very precarious time for the industry, Shane, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just interesting just to take it back and just talk about exactly what you said, really. There's
just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Big change in the last few months. There's
massive.
We haven't really took it back, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, and for anybody who wants any help or advice, somebody might be able.
Anybody's thinking about buying anything or wants advice on anything, we're just stripping everything back, mate. Anybody wants to throw any questions out or anything, that's what we're going to do, mate, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody asking why we haven't done a show is we've just been mega busy, mate, haven't we?
Yes, it's been pretty draining, to be fair, hasn't it? Not that I am complaining whatsoever.
No,
it's just been full belt. Yeah, full belt. Properly full belt.
This is one time in our that we've got to make hay while sun shines, haven't we?
Correct.
We've probably got this year. Hopefully, we might have next year. But we have the Motorhome and Caravan show channel, don't we?
We do, yes.
And we're going to be, we'll talk about some of these videos we're going to be putting out later, aren't we?
Yes.
So, right. So, do you want to move into some news?
It's far away.
So, what have you got for us?
Have we got a news video or anything like that to do with this?
Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. I do the news.
You do the news?
I do the news. Me and Shane normally do the news. We're not going to invite me on. We're coming on here and sneaking on and not like going to say anything.
Did you tell him?
I never told him. I reckon.
It just popped up on my phone saying that you was doing the show. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. What are you doing the show? Why haven't you invited me? I'm not joking. I just thought you were going to sneak on.
I just love how West Midlands he sounds right now.
This is my brand voice. This is sneaking on here, not saying anything to anybody, and then you're just going to do the news without me.
Go on, then do the news.
Have we got a button to press for the news?
We've got nothing.
Have we sacked John as well?
Oh, have we got a news one? News.
Look at that, we've got some news.
You haven't got any news?
Have you not got any news?
I don't know. I thought Jason had the news.
I thought you got the news. The only reason I came on was because I saw that you were on here. I didn't actually have any news, even though I used to do the news with you. I didn't really have any news. Oh, look at that. We've got a bit of news there at the bottom. No, that's new news, that is.
Oh, have you put that up?
Yeah, I've put that up.
Okay, then let's kick into the news then. What have we got?
So, as you can see at the bottom, we've got Ludlow Caravan Park, quite local to us, me and Jason, not quite as local for Shane, but they've just been named the UK's best park for motorhomes. Don't know why they're called Ludlow Touring Park and they're the best for motorhomes. That doesn't really make sense, does it? But they have. So, yeah, UK's best. It's quite a good one, I thought. Okay. And then one more. This is quite interesting. COVID wiped 115 million off Swift Group sales. So that's not just caravans. That's going to be caravans, motorhomes. They do statics as well, don't they? So 115 million. So they've reported a 7.3 million loss in the year to August 2020. So that gives you, because obviously COVID didn't really kick in until February, March 2020, did it?
No.
So on such a short period of time to have such a, that would have been the big main part of the season, wouldn't it? That would have been where they'd been delivering all the 2020s to dealers, and obviously COVID came and made a massive impact. So they reported a £7.3 million loss.
I am going to put a little bit of self-blame on that though as well.
Yeah,
because they never opened up when they should have done, and they never ramped it up when they should have done either. You know, so instead of, I think, as we discussed previously, instead of going back to work, because they have the 2-week shutdown, which they have every year, they just stayed shut until that was done, and then decided to come back after, and so on.
I suppose in their defence, it was a completely unknown situation, wasn't it? We didn't know how it was. It was either going to go one of two ways. And I know Jason, if you sort of think back, Jason at that point last year sat there and said, "That's it. If I don't do anything now for the rest of the year, that is my view." So it was. It was the unknown, and it's still a little bit of the unknown now, to be fair. And I suppose when you've got so many staff and such huge overheads, I don't know whether we can really blame them and say they should have took advantage of the situation, because we didn't know what the situation really was, did we?
I'm going to cut in there, mate, because don't forget when we came back out of lockdown, right? They should have learned the lesson.
Yeah, they should have done. They did sit on the hands for a long time. How is
it then, Mark, that all the small dealers have got their acts together, but the big boys haven't?
But then, is it easier for us to get our acts together because we've got less staff, we've got less overhead as such, so it's a bit easier for us to sort of go, right, get everyone back in, we'll get everyone back working and go for it, or I don't know. It's strange. Is it just that because we only do used and we're not sat there doing the brand new and we're not being dictated to by the new manufacturers, that we can actually go, well, you know what? If I want some stock, I'll go and find some, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get off my backside. Whereas some of the big dealers, it's they're going to be told by the new manufacturers, well, no, we're not going to give you any stock, or yes, we are going to give you any stock, and does that then dictate of when they can really go for it?
Well, we're going to talk about used prices a bit later and new prices, aren't we? Have you got anything, Shane?
News-wise?
Come on, you hear what's going on in the trade.
It's more, well, yeah, but it's sort of going back to what we just said, talking about the lack of stock around and just the amazing numbers that people are putting out and how popular different things are. I mean, a good example of one that I don't know how correct this is, but obviously, I don't know about you guys, but we've never been big into camper vans, to buying camper vans. We've always gone to the normal coach build, low profiles and so on. But I can't believe the uptake in camper vans this year. And I might be wrong, but I think Auto Trail camper vans are outselling the coach builds.
Right.
Which just shows you there's just a completely different...
vans.
Oh yeah, bloody hell! Well, you have a look in our compound at the moment. We've got a VW California, we've got a Heimer car, we've got what else? We've got Devon, we've got Danbury, we've got everything. All camper vans.
Yeah.
Never bought so many.
The market's changing.
It is changing massively.
I think that's where the key is. Then is being up to date with the market, isn't it, and sort of knowing what's going on. Because if you don't, you're 12 months behind. And by the time you then go, right, okay, I'm going to move on, I'm now going to get my arse into gear, it's too late. You've missed the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what's the situation with the Fiat chassis? Okay,
so it's, funnily enough, there's a couple of reasons. One is something called it's one of the microchips. I forget what it's called now. I remember in a second. But that's one of the issues with the chassis. They can't get hold of them, but you can't get them for phones or anything. Jaguar Land Rover, for example, have just shut down for 2 weeks, I think it is initially, just because they can't get hold of them. Semiconductor is what they're called. Right. They're just a little microchip that powers everything, so they can't get hold of that. And then, if you're buying a motorhome that's on a Fiat chassis, Italy's gone back into lockdown, haven't they? So. Yeah. They're not building anything. And obviously, all the parts that are being built for the chassis, they're not being built. And then the last and final reason, and this is what I prepared earlier, the 2022 Fiat cab. Not just me that just thinks it looks like the same one.
It is the same one, isn't it? Right. Oh, no, the bumper's different.
Yeah, so that's the 2022 cab. So they're also sitting there thinking, well, we are behind on orders. We are struggling for parts, but do we really want to start putting extra into getting parts for a chassis that won't be around in a few months' time? So that's also delaying the process. And that's something that somebody's just mentioned in the comments, actually, just looking through. Sean, his first time watching you guys. I've ordered a 2022 Adria Compact Supreme DL. I'm told that the new cab will feature a facelift. Just that.
So he's had a first.
I mean, they've already done. Say again.
He's had the first look at it. Is it of his Adria?
Yeah. I mean, they've already done a bit of a facelift inside, haven't they? So I think it's just going to be more outside. I might be wrong.
Right.
So we'll see.
Anything else? Any more news on automotive?
I've not heard anything, to be honest with you. They took a new director on, didn't they? So
you did do, yeah. I forgot we had a look at that, didn't we?
Yeah, I sort of looked at it, and it looked like it was a more of a receiver than a director. But you looked at it differently to me, didn't you, Shane?
I looked at it as a company that, well, whether it's the same sort of thing in a sort of way, the sort of an investment company that comes in and turns businesses around for sale, effectively.
Yeah, I thought that it looked as though they were just going to strip the company and sell off any assets and be done with it. That's sort of how it looked. The new director, that's the sort of companies that he has, from what I could see. But you could be right. But there's just not been anything at all, has there, really? Solid.
No.
That you can sort of 100% go, right, this is exactly what's happening. I think if they were going to build anything, they'd have started now. If they haven't, they're in trouble. And
it's not a bad time to start putting money into building motorhomes and caravans, is it? But yes, you're right. If they are thinking of doing it, then they've got to be careful before. I mean, I was going to say miss the boat, but when is the boat going? Might be 3 years yet.
Yeah.
Anything else?
News-wise?
That's as much as I could find.
Right. Smoke alarms you want to talk about, Mark, is it?
Oh, yes, I do. You've never seen me get so excited about smoke alarms.
I haven't seen you get excited about anything.
Well, true.
Except from your Maserati you brought the other day.
It's an old one. It's a cheap one. I'll just put that there now.
Have you got a new toy car?
Yeah, it's. I've painted the wheels. Paint by numbers. So smoke alarms. Smoke alarm. Let's change that subject quick. Everyone takes this. How many people in the comments? Get your comments in. Have you got a battery in your smoke alarm, or have you taken it out? Because pretty much 70% of caravans that we would get through the workshops, there'd be no battery in the smoke alarm, or it'd have some.
Did you do a poll and everything as well, Mark, on this? You
what? Sorry.
Did you do a poll on it?
I'm doing one now. It's in the comments. I need yes, in. Oh, that's good to hear. One in, battery in, and so it should be. It is. It's amazing how many people take the batteries out of the smoke alarms.
And Tom, David, Phil, and Karen have all got their batteries in.
Yeah, they're really backing me up here. Thanks, guys.
I will admit, mate, to be honest, the amount of Motorhomes we get in and the batteries are not in.
Yeah. We see loads.
I tend to take them out for the drive. I tend to put a flat one in for the drivers when they're driving home. So it beats all the way back.
I know why you have to have a smoke alarm in while you're driving, though, Shane.
Yeah. I didn't need one for that, funnily enough.
No, it's strange that. So the importance of smoke alarms. They were using the fridge on gas. And admittedly, not everybody uses the fridges on gas. But fridge was running on gas during the night and set on fire. And if it hadn't have been for the smoke alarm, it could have ended very, very differently. Fortunately, the couple that were in the caravan managed to get out and were fine. Caravan, not so. They managed to put the fire out before it sort of absolutely gutted it. But if it hadn't have been for the smoke alarm, if they'd have took that battery out of the smoke alarm, it could have been very, very differently. This is another one. This is a young girl was asleep in this at the time when the fridge again set on fire, and it was the smoke alarm that helped her realise and get out. And then just a slightly different one. I honestly don't know whether this was more of a fire in a storage yard than a fridge that had caused that. But it just shows how easily and quickly just a small little fire can cause such a big problem. And if you're inside of that caravan, if it's of a night and you're sleeping, and because obviously the gases and smells and what have you can do the opposite thing and actually just knock you out even further. So without the smoke alarm, it can be very, very dangerous. So anybody that sort of just look at it and go, all right, we're going to take the smoke alarm out, then think about it again. And I've put the wrong one up there, sorry. So there's also a smoke alarm that they do for deaf people as well.
That's a great question, that is.
No, she's saying, did you know there is a company that does a smoke alarm for deaf people? So even if you're deaf and it's not making the sound, they do actually do a smoke alarm for deaf people, according to Karen M. Dines there. I think I think they do a couple of options. I think they've got one that's like it basically sits next to your bedside table, effectively. There's a pad underneath, which I'm guessing will vibrate or something like that. And whether there's also a strobe lighting sort of one as well. Yeah, so I just thought the strobe lighting one would be good. MedPage Limited is who do them, and again, somebody else has just put in their carbon monoxides as well. Very, very important. So just should be checked if you have the caravan service. They should be checked on the service. Smoke alarm and carbon monoxide. So very important. Don't take your batteries out. If you're away this weekend in your van, make sure your battery is working. There's a little button on there that you can press and just test them. So just make sure that it is working, basically. Otherwise, you've seen the pictures, you've been warned. So
they are a wooden box at the end of the day, most of them, aren't they?
Yeah. It's scary how quickly it goes.
Yeah, underestimated a smoke alarm.
Yeah. Yeah, may just save your life.
Campsites. Anybody been out on a campsite? Is there anybody at a campsite? Does anybody know how they're doing?
Yeah. How was it on the campsite that you're near?
I don't know. I had the weekend off. I won't get stop there. It's packed.
Busy then?
Yeah, they sold out for the bank holiday. I thought, I'm off. Gone.
That's fair enough.
So,
right, a couple of questions that have come in. What length of waste pipe suggested getting for someone to use on sites?
Well, would you not have a waste tank?
Some don't, do they?
You can't go straight into the drain, can't you?
I would have said normally 3 meters is. It depends what site it is. Really, if they need to go into a separate waste container, have a separate waste container, because not all sites have got disposal points or the wastewater points at the side of the van, have they? So
no.
Okay. Anything else?
Next one. What's your opinion on roll? I'm assuming that's Roller Team Motorhomes. Are they a good starter van for families?
Yes.
I'd say yes.
Yes. They've come a long way, Roller Team have. A bit like the Chasson as well, Shane, isn't it?
Correct. And they do sorry, I'm going to sneeze in a second. They do a couple of ranges and they're quite affordable, really.
Yeah.
They're quite affordable, really. I think the Zafiro start from late 40s and the Auto Rolls are mid 50s, something like that. But my God, if you have a look at the prices of Zafiros, even used, they just don't seem to drop in price at all.
No,
I can remember somebody last year they'd bought a Zafiro, or they were buying a Zafiro, and they kept asking you about the Zafiro and what a good motorhome to have bought last year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were we got offered one yesterday. It was a Fero 685, I think it was. I think they're from 48.5 new. And there was one dealer that had offered them on a 2019 42.5. £6,000 less than they are new. Work that one out.
Is that on a part X or to buy it right?
To buy it right.
Right.
I don't think part exchange prices are really making too much of a difference at the moment, are they?
No.
They'll be strong regardless.
Used price. Let's talk about used prices.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Hang on, Rob, just a second. Rob and Sally. We are looking at an Adria Twin, a Malibu, or Westphal. I can't say it. It's a bit like this. The Zaflora. I can call them Zafloras.
Westphalia.
So, the Twin's a nice van. The Malibu, don't get many West, whatever they are.
Yeah, West Sides. To be honest, I'd personally go for either the Adria or the Malibu. I don't know much about. I haven't really had any Malibus, but I know they are pretty much sold out. I know a bit like what I said with
They're better
Orfale earlier.
spec than the Twin, aren't they? But the Twin does the job. Yeah,
I don't think there's much in it because the Twins are up there on price now. But the Malibus are obviously part of the Carthago group. And I know the Malibu vans are outselling the coach builds. So they are doing very well. Westphalia, a bit like Jason said, really, you just don't seem to come across them at all.
Wow.
So Germany. So for the reason that you don't come across many, I think it'll be a harder sell out the other end.
Mm.
To be honest, because it's very neat. It's almost a very niche make, isn't it?
But then you say that if you're after one and there's not many about, it's going to get snapped up, isn't it?
Well, okay. Well, as a dealer, how do you price one?
Yeah,
when there's none of them for sale.
Yeah,
you'll scare most dealers away from them. Most public people, at least with something like an Adria or a Malibu, you'll be able to sell it all day long.
I'm going to add something I've just thought about. Just something I want to ask the pair of you. Because we're going to talk about used prices now. Now, people probably don't know, we use something called a Glasses Guide. It's a little bit like cars. Stay with me on this. We use a Glasses Guide. It's a bit like cars, isn't it? It's a trade and a retail price for caravans. It's a trade and a retail price for static homes and also for motorhomes. Now, my subscriptions just come through the other week. Can I ask you two a question? Are you actually going to basically renew your subscriptions?
Don't think so, no. Or if I do, I'll be going down from, I think, 4 to 1.
Mark?
I will.
I know Caravans is quite good, isn't it? You always say to me Caravans quite accurate.
It used to be. It used to be. It's not anymore, but it still gives us a good indicator. The last update, because they update it every 3 months, basically. So they'll give new information and update the prices every 3 months. And the last update on the prices, they went up between £125 and £250, depending on what it was. And that it used to be that you'd get like a devaluation every 3 months, but we've started to get an increase in prices. But the problem is the caravans and the motorhomes have gone up far more in 3 months than £125 or £250. So the Glasses Guide for the caravans now is so far out, but it now basically means what the retail price used to be is pretty much what the trade price is now, there or thereabouts, depending on what model it is. So it's still a decent indicator for the caravans in one way, but you need to know how to use it. It's like having a special pen that you have to write a certain way, and if you don't know, it's not going to write. Same with the book. If you don't know how the values actually are at this present time in the market, you may as well throw it out the window. But it's a decent indicator still at this moment in time. What that will be like in another 3 months, it might just be a complete waste of time.
But it's not an indicator, though, Mark, is it? It's not an indicator because you're basically looking at what the retail guide is, and you're giving trade for it.
Yeah. So
let's take the last Caravan auction. The prices going through were over retail, weren't they?
Over retail, yeah. Dealers were paying
more. That's an auction.
Yeah. Dealers were paying more than the retail values. This is on unseen stuff, so they've not seen it. They've just seen a couple of pictures. They've got to pay for it before they go and pick it up and see it. So they've then got to literally take your chances, basically. It could be an absolute shed that they're walking into, but by the time they get there, you've bought it, you've paid your money, and you took your chances. And then you've got the auction fees on top of that as well, and the auction fees aren't cheap. I'll be completely honest, and I'll put my hands up because we need stock, or we needed stock, and we still will need stock. I'd looked at it and I'd gone, I'm going to buy every single Caravan that is at that auction. I'm just going to buy it, and then I'm going to take the good with the bad, sort it out, and then try and look at moving the bad stuff on in one way or another and keeping the good stuff. I couldn't pay the prices. I couldn't pay the prices for them. It just become to a point where you go, they're not far off what the things are actually fetching for retail. And I'd sort of spoken to Shane very quickly, actually, while the auction was going on. And Don Amott had the same Caravan that was going through the auction. He had it on sale at $19,995, and it made $21,500, I think it was, at the auction. Yeah, a dealer had got one on sale at $19,995. About 5 minutes after, I phoned Don Amott up to buy the one that he'd got retailing, and he says, sorry, it was gone like last week. It's gone. And that's the problem, and that's why the prices are going up.
But also, your dealers are keeping stock on there as well, aren't they, when they've already sold it?
Yes.
They're having to. I mean, there was a dealer that you bought. I think I spoke to you boys about it the other day, and I think they had about 32 motorhomes in stock, which is incredibly low for them. It's probably about 50%. And within the first, I think it was 6 days, they sold 22.
Yeah. So just going back to glasses, Shane, what's your opinion on the motorhome side?
I want to give you an example here. There's a dealer called me earlier on today on a Compass Avant-Garde 400. The bids that they got from the trade were 0454.
Compass Avant-Garde 04. Yeah.
So the bids they got were £15,000. The Glasses Guide trade price is $8,400.
Hang on. Oh.
7,000, nearly £7,000.
8,400.
Nearly £7,000. Yeah.
It's so up.
Over Glasses Guide price. And that's why you just goes out the window.
Let's just look at that when we're not in a pandemic. 8,400 isn't the right price for that van.
No, you'd make if you could buy a load of Eldis as 04 at 4 bits at $8,000. You'd be doing very well, but I can guarantee there'll be something like that online between 20 and 25. Depending on how brave the dealer is.
Yeah, it's like the 04s, the 02s to 04s, where normally they'd be retailing for 17, 18K. Now they're over the 20s now, aren't they? 21,995, 22,995.
Yeah, and probably before. Give it a couple of weeks and they'll be at 25.
Do you feel prices will no doubt once the foreign holiday market reopens?
No. Mark?
No. Not going to happen.
For me, for the reasons being, one is because they can't build them quick enough, and you're never going to be able to catch up with those builds. Two, there's just so many new people onto the market. That you're not, even if you lose 50% of them, it's still a massive amount that's just joined with no new stock coming through.
And the other thing is, when new stock from next year does come out, prices are going up. The new prices of next year models.
Oh yeah.
going to go up significantly.
Well, let's move on to new stuff, because let's be honest, people who've actually put orders in for new stuff, half of them ain't going to get them, are they?
I know, I'm pretty sure, I spoke to someone the other day, Heimer of 2023 now, until you get one.
Yeah.
2 years.
Scary.
So
even Chasson a few months ago was like 2022.
Right. Do you know if Bailey have any delay? I'm waiting on my van.
I'm not sure. I know that they've been getting new vans out of the factory. I've got a feeling that they are sort of, because they stayed open this time, they kept production going, and I think they've tried to stay on the ball this time. So I think you may get a couple of weeks delay just because of parts. But again, something can happen on the part side, and it just throws it into dismay sort of a thing. So it depends what happens. I believe that they've been getting the vans out fairly well out of the factory and to the dealers' forecourts.
Bailey have actually got their acts together, Mark, haven't they?
Yeah.
They have, but again, to be fair, they very much have.
If an outside thing, was it ourselves that were talking about that they hadn't got the wood to be able to produce the new caravans or motorhomes? Was that one of you?
One of the manufacturers. Because obviously you've obviously, definitely sounds, you've probably got the Suez Canal has obviously delayed things, even if it's just one or two little bits, and the parts just aren't coming through to build them. So at some point it will slow them down even more. But yeah, Bailey have been pretty damn good at getting vans out.
Yeah.
So new prices, people are paying basically for 1-year-old vans pretty much what you can buy them for new. So the manufacturers are just going to go next year.
Well, it's not just that. I don't think it's going to be so much just that. They're going to have to do that to a degree, because if they can't get as many out of the door because of parts, they've still got to cover the costs. They've still got to cover their overheads in one way or another. So if they're not...
They're going to go up though, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're going to go up more than they normally got up.
I mean, they've got to. Obviously, I know Mark is as well. Building a house at the moment, so you speak to all the joiners and everything like that, and they say the price of wood has absolutely skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And obviously, you've got all your units, your cupboards, your overhead lockers, your walls, floor, everything's made out of wood. So if you haven't got if the wood's gone up in price, then the prices have got to go up.
Yeah. All the components are going up. There's a big shortage.
So I'm just going to cut in there, Mark. So the answer to everybody's question about used prices, are they going to drop, is no, because the new vehicles are going to go up, which is then going to take the used up again. Am I right?
Yeah.
They're never going to go down from this point. There's only going to be one way. They're not going to drop at all. Not a chance in hell. Not even in 3 years' time. They just can't do it. It's just impossible. There's just not the stock around.
I think we've found a new normal of the prices, and we get it so much where people come in and they go, "Oh, we're after a caravan, but we looked at one last year and they've gone up so much." Do you think by the time the summer holidays are sort of around that we'll be able to get one cheaper? I'm like, it's not going to happen. If you think that you're going to be able to wait till during the summer holidays or till the end of the season and prices are going to drop, it's not happening. It is not happening.
No.
Because
they may level out a bit. They may level out a bit over the winter, but as soon as the new prices get announced and everything like that, then everything's going back up again.
Yeah,
it's just never ended. I mean, there's funnily enough, there's two or three this week that we've been offered that we bought about a year, 18 months or so, and we're buying them for more than we sold them for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Basically, if you brought a motorhome out of the first lockdown, you could sell it again now for a lot more money.
Yeah. But then the problem is you've got to go and buy something else for a lot more money as well. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? It's good if you were getting out of the market and you were saying, that's it. I'm not going to do it anymore.
Can I just address this, lads? Right, Rob and Sally. So is it better to wait or snap up a bargain when you can? There isn't any bargains. If it's a bargain, there's something.
Yeah. Sometimes
you'll get
it
some a bit lower price.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get it where somebody's mispriced it, or it's difficult for us because we will have stock that we sort of had December and we priced up December, and it may still be sat on the pitch. I know we've got a couple of vans that sort of have been sat there and we priced up last December. And you sort of look at it and you go, well, all the prices now have moved up, so really we need to be putting those prices up.
Just answer this then. Won't you get to a point where customers can't afford to buy second hand?
Possibly. And I think what it is going to be then is you've got to look at something older. You've just got to go back down the market.
But you've also got to, I think you've also got to sort of understand the people that are now buying them, the people that normally go out and spend a few grand on foreign holidays.
Yes.
Yeah. Or we're going to come up to retirement to buy one in 3 years' time. They're just pushing those plans forward.
Yes.
Or they're a young family, for example. Peter, who works for us, and I laughed my head off when he first did it, but I can completely understand the reason. He bought a camper van. It was like he said, if I want to go take the 3 kids away for the weekend, or just up for a day trip up to the Peak District, put them in the back. I've got a fridge, I've got water and everything like that on board. I'm good to go.
Well, there was a comment earlier about when we can go abroad again. Our price is going to change. Well, actually, now the price to go abroad, because you've got to have COVID tests to go out. You've got to have COVID tests when you come back in. You can be looking at, for a family of 4, you can be looking at £1,000 for COVID tests just each way, like going out and coming back. On top of
now, I might be wrong here. I might be totally wrong or whatever, right? But I think basically the government don't really want us going abroad. One, to keep the money in the country, to put money back into the pot. Secondly, I think they're frightened to death of new variants coming back into the country.
Yeah.
You just look at the shocking things that are happening in India, and we can't go back.
I mean, the other question is it's all right saying when everybody can go abroad. When's that going to be? Yeah. We are so far ahead of everybody else, yet we're still nowhere near. I don't think anyway. Obviously they're on about clubs and stuff opening in June. Can you honestly see that happening?
They have actually opened a nightclub, haven't they?
Yeah, it was in Liverpool last night. They did a test.
Yeah,
4,000 people there.
They trialled it, yeah. But
yeah.
I just can't see it being free for all in June next month.
No, I can't.
I think that the prices to go away will just put people off. Even when they open it up, I think people will look and go, you know what? Why am I paying £6,000 or £7,000 to take my family on holiday for 2 weeks? Yeah, we might have guaranteed sunshine, but look at the holidays that we can, if they've already been away in a van or something like that, and then they compare the costs. I think they'd choose to stay in this country anyway and do it in a caravan or a motorhome or a static. So I think we've talked about keeping 50% of the new market. I think it will be more than that.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, like that comment says below there, Map 1 UK 3D printing. Things will never be the same again, and they won't be.
No,
won't. We've had 12 months of learning how to shop online. Retired in September, so brought our first caravan in January this year. My wife and our son retired now. Happy days. Good on you, Kevin.
Yeah. And now, how many people are going to be doing that early?
Now, we've talked about prices. Everybody thinks motorhome and caravans are in a boom at the moment. But I think some of the bigger dealers are going to be struggling. And I know they're struggling. Now, me and you, Mark, Shay, we're geared up 1 or 2 motorhomes or caravans a week. Yep. You've got your main deals are geared up to selling what? 10 motorhomes a week? 10 caravans a week? So the infrastructure's there. The infrastructure's through the technicians, through the sales staff, through the cleaners, through the admin, through everything else. Stock levels are down. They're not selling 10 to 15 vehicles. They've sold all the 21 stuff. They've half sold the 22 stuff. They ain't going to get any money in till that comes. They're not getting the Part X's in because they're still stuck in the ways of offering old money on Glasses Guide prices. So they're not buying the stock. So they're sitting there with small stock, big overheads, big staff. Something's going to come down.
Yeah,
pretty much. If you've got nothing to sell, I mean, it's a funny situation where the dealers, where they've always been probably tight on cash, they've never been so cash rich in their lives because they just can't spend the money to buy anything back.
Yeah, and then that money only lasts so long, paying all your wages and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a bit like the dealer said about at the start of the show, sold 22 out of 32 odd in the first 6 days or so. You know, what do his sales staff do for the next? Because he said it's going to take 8 weeks to get through them, to get them all out.
Yeah,
and that's.
And again, the problem is you're not getting the part exchanges where we before probably get 60% of what we sold would get a part exchange coming in. It's probably now 10, 20% of the sales we're getting part exchanges. So they just.
I think that's the other. Yeah, I think that's the other thing he said. He said he sold 22 and only one had a part exchange to it.
Yeah,
which killed him.
Yeah.
And the problem is they don't know how to go out and replenish that stock. It's
no.
They're not going to
price. They don't know how to price in this era either. They're still very old-fashioned, big dealer attitude where they think that people will just come to them and they don't.
Yeah. They offer the prices. Hence the comment that Tone the Tin put. And then all of a sudden, 12 months later, it's like, oh, why are we not getting any vans?
Yeah, I mean, Tone the Tin, just when this goes on the podcast, well, maybe the big boys will treat the punters a bit better. Well, the problem is at the moment, where they should be doing, but because they're selling regardless, it wouldn't surprise me if they don't feel like they need to.
I think that some of the big dealers, from what I've spoken to, they're 12 months behind where they should be. They're still sort of 12 months behind where we really should be.
Yeah.
Jason,
what brand offers the most winterproof model?
It's got to be like the Ages and things like that. The better insulated and.
The Germans, pretty much. Anything German or that way on, because obviously they're built in a country that gets harsh winters.
Yeah. Right.
Makes sense.
I tell you what, it's gone quick tonight, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Right. If anybody's not got onto the Motorhome and Caravan Show YouTube channel, get over there and subscribe to us, please. We've been putting a few videos out, and we've just started to put a few videos on how-tos. Are we going to have a little bit of a rant here? I think so. Right, we all watch YouTube, we all watch it. We watch these YouTube creators doing their vlogs and going away and everything. Brilliant. Love them. Love watching them. Love watching all the different vlogs. And then they start to put the how-tos on how to buy a motorhome or how to buy a caravan, basically. They probably bought 2 or 3 in their life. How many did you buy a month, Shane?
35, 40, something
Mark?
like that.
About 25.
So between us, we probably do anywhere about 80 to 100 vans a month. So we've watched these videos and we've been watching them and looking at them and thinking, please don't come to our pitch in 2021 with this attitude if you've been watching these videos.
What's your favourite line?
What's your best price?
How much of a discount can you do?
Ain't happening, is it? So we put some videos together, haven't we? From our perspective of how to buy a caravan, how to buy a motorhome, how to buy one private, how to buy one from a dealer, and showing you properly, unbiased, how to do it properly, haven't we? Because it's all right, these people like saying, just stick to doing your vlogs. Just do your vlogs. Right? We've shown people of how properly buy a motorhome and caravan, haven't we?
Yes.
Oh, come on, say something.
Yeah, no, I've done some
Go on.
Whether it's privately or from a dealer.
Yeah.
And again, we are as dealers, we're not going to sit here and say, "Oh, you shouldn't buy privately," because we buy privately. So why shouldn't you? We'd be like telling you lies if we was to say. And on one of the videos, I sort of brought up the point of actually, you might not be able to go and buy from a dealer. You might not be able to get what you want from a dealer. The dealer hasn't got the stock, so you've got to go and buy privately. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? And we cover all things like that in the videos, don't we?
Yeah. And we also cover as well what we look for when we go out and buy as well, and the different things. Because look, you can't come wandering onto our pitches now and asking what's your best price for cash, what's your discounts and everything else, because it's not happening, Mark, is it?
No, it's we can't get the stock. So what we've got to sell. We've priced it up to the best that we possibly can, and that's it basically. You either want it. If you don't want it, the next person through the door is probably going to buy it, and it's not a great attitude to have, but that is the reality of the situation. That is just the reality of how it is. So it is what it is at the minute.
We've tried to be relevant to the situation as well, haven't we? Where we are in 2021 and how you go out and buy these private trade.
Do you know the other thing? We're not charging people £250 for us to tell them what to buy.
There's some geezer in Scotland, isn't there?
Somebody £250 is charging you so he can tell you what you should buy.
Shane, you're looking at buying a motorhome. How many of you are going away in this motorhome?
2 and a dog.
You need a 2-berth.
With a dog.
But sometimes I take my friends.
You might need a bigger one then.
Nobody can tell a family of if I was on my own, I was a one person, I can't tell a family of 4 people what is going to suit them or what's going to be best for them, can I? Because I don't know what their situation is. Exactly the same as what you've just done there. You don't know what Shane's situation is, so you can't advise him what to go out and buy.
No. Simple rule for everybody buying the first van. Don't spend all your money. If you've got 40 grand to spend on a van, spend 25 or 30 grand, because the first van you buy will not be the first van you'll keep. You will get through 3 to 4 vans. Do you know what I mean? It takes you 3 to 4 vans to find the van that you actually want.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, how many, let's just say Eldis, for instance.
Well, just let me get off my soapbox for a second, right? You've got somebody's charging you 250 quid to go and buy a van, right? Is this guy going to say, right, if you're going to look for a Bailey, a 2013 Bailey, these are the things you need to look for. If you're going to buy an Aldis AutoQuest, you need to check this, this, and this. If you're going to go out and buy a CI, what you need to do is go to the back, because the reversing cameras at the back tend to leak in. Are you going to get that?
They're not going to know, are they?
A good dealer, and okay, I've seen in some of the comments they like double glazing salesmen, but a good dealer will put you in the right type of van.
And I think as a customer, you will get a feel if this salesman is just trying to flog you anything. Yeah. You will get a feel for it. And
I was going to say, go on, Mark. Sorry.
Fair enough. You can't trust all salesmen. They're at the end of the day, they're out to sell you what. So you've got to use your own eyes, and it's all down to what you feel right when you walk into something. If you wanted red paint, you're not going to let the salesman sell you green paint, are you? At the end of the day, so you're going to go into something, and it's either going to feel right or it's not, and nobody can tell you that. Nobody can say to you, that is what you should be looking for, because you can walk into it and it's not what you're looking for. So how can anybody charge you 250 quid to advise you on what you should be buying?
Well, we've go on. Sorry, Shane.
Sorry, I was going to say. I mean, just going on to that. I mean, I know over the years there's probably a dozen friends or family and stuff like that that have said, right, this is what I want. When they first start looking, I can guarantee not one. I know for a fact not one of them has actually bought that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's probably whether it's the right way of selling, but if I'm selling one, if somebody walks into a van, I don't force them into it because they either like the layout, it either works for them or it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's a very personal thing.
Yeah, it is. It's making sure it's the right weight as well for the license, and also seatbelt is an important one on the motorhome side. But it takes three. Again, I keep on about it. It takes 3 to 4 vans to get the right van.
We've had customers that have gone through 8 or 9 caravans in 3 years. Just literally thought, oh, this is what's going to suit us now. Oh no, that doesn't work. That's
circumstances change, Mark, don't they?
Yeah. Oh well, we thought the kids were going to come away with us, and they haven't. So why I'm trying this big, massive caravan round with me now, and no one's coming away with me. We'll go for a little 2-berth, and then you've been used to
one thing
a bigger van.
Is probably what we thought to do, and we're going to throw that out to the comments to see if anybody's interested. Is probably once a month is to do the Motorhome and Caravan clinic, where people who are interested in buying certain things put them in the comments, and we'll just answer all the questions if people are interested in it.
Yeah, even if it's just what to look for. Like you know when you're going out to buy something, exactly what you're going to, what the first thing that you're going to.
Yeah.
I
wanted red paint as well.
It reminds me of
was it cheaper the green one?
It was on discount.
It reminds me of Only Fools and Horses, where Del Boy sells luminous paint. Is it to the Chinese restaurant or wherever it is? It was actually the tunnel paint to light up the tunnel when the trains go through it. Okay.
Here we go. Here we got one in. Hi guys, I've just brought a brand new Bailey Phoenix 420. I'm the first time owner. Is there any issues? May come along, please. Any help will be appreciated.
Just make sure you keep your servicing at the dates to keep your warranty, and that's the best advice really. Just always check for water runs down the panels as well. The Baileys, they can leak, not all of them, but you'll hear more. You always hear bad things rather than the good things, don't you? Just always. That's
the annoying thing, though, Mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always get the bad bits, but never the good bits.
Yeah, nobody tells you about the 90% of them that are absolutely perfect. You just hear about the odd ones that, I've had this issue, and then they're the ones that shout it the loudest, aren't they? But yeah, really good vans, the Bailey Phoenix, to be fair. Really, really good, lightweight, value for money. And I really like the Bailey's Phoenix, to be honest. Very much so.
Yeah.
There's a bugbear, isn't it? A 4-berth with 2 belts.
Classic Auto Trail. I mean, I do like what Eldis do and a few others where they do the berths for belts. So if there's 4 berths, the guarantee there's going to be 4 belts.
Yeah, but it's now been putting the seats underneath the benches, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I can understand a 4-berth with 2 belts because those bench seats at the front, you're never really going to use them as a bed. The one I don't get is 6-berth with 2 belts. That one is a waste of time for me because I can understand if you've got a fixed, I don't know, island bed or something at the back, and then you want 2 bench seats at the front because it is a lot more comfy, 2 bench seats than an L-shaped dinette, isn't it? When you're actually sitting there in a couple.
Okay.
Makes sense.
I've never known a 6-berth with 2 belted seats.
Just think about some of your Comanches and stuff like that. They've got the overcab, they've got the bench seats at the front, and then an island bed at the back.
Right.
Jason.
I appreciate that, Liam. Thank you very much.
Can read it out.
Jason, I watch a lot of your videos. I find it embarrassing. Very informative and come across like somebody I'd like to deal with. And when we come to upgrade our motorhome, we will definitely be giving you a visit. Thank you very much, Liam. I appreciate that. That's why we do these, and it makes it all worth it when they do all these type of videos, lads, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does.
That's right. I mean, we said at the start of the show, it's been nearly a year since we first started doing it. It's because for me, it was because I don't think there's much insight into the trade, is there?
No, not at all. No.
You're either a customer or a dealer. There's no middle ground. There's no...
Shane, there's nothing, is there? There's nothing. No one will give you any impartial advice, to be honest. And then any videos that are out there, they're either paid for sponsors or they've been given a product, which it's going to be... Anybody who's been given a product, it's going to be a biased review anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, I've enjoyed this last year, mate, doing these videos. It's been hard work sometimes, but we've knocked some good videos out, mate. That didn't sound right, did it?
Like Shane on about his semi earlier. His semiconductor.
Semiconductor. I never heard it phrased like that. Oh dear. Anyway, moving on. Paul Baker, are there any delays with registering new motorhomes? You know anything about that?
I've got a clue.
I've been really surprised. V5s. I've had a V5 come through within about 2 days of doing it online.
Yes, that's doing it online though. It's when they have to handle
the Rolls Royce
that you get. That's that. Yeah. No, to be fair, when you do it online, if you do anything online, it's absolutely spot on. The problems come when you have to start sending paperwork in. Like over the last few weeks or last few months, we've had a couple of customers that said, right, okay, we'll come out and buy your motorhome in 2 days or whatever, something like that. And they say, oh, we just sent off the V5 to change something or another on it. Oh no, what have you done that for? We'll see you in 2 months' time. Because the problem is when obviously when we first went into lockdown, DVLA effectively shut down, didn't they? As most companies did. But the problem now from our side of things is now we've gone back to work. DVLA have gone to strike because the staff don't want to go back to work.
Yeah, that's another issue, isn't it? That people have had all this time off work and now they don't want to work.
Yeah,
I don't get that, to be honest.
What do you mean you don't get that? When was the last time you went to work?
That's a very good point, to be honest.
Hey,
I'm working from home. Boris said I've got to work from home.
Now, this was interesting. So we're talking about that and furlough and stuff like that. Spoke to on the business part that Ron. There's a woman who works for a job agency, and she said she's been doing it for 31 years, and she says she's never known anything like it. In 31 years, she went into work on a Monday morning and said, I don't know why I'm bothering. I said, I've got over 300 jobs available and I can't fill one of them. Nobody is applying for jobs. Nobody wants to go back to work. Everybody's sat on furlough and just can't be bothered.
You wait till furlough finishes. Will it finish?
I know. But she said it's absolutely mad. Over 300 jobs, can't fill one of them. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
Doesn't take long to get into the habit, mate. 12 months of not doing any work.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It has been a long time.
Yeah. We obviously don't appreciate it, do we? Because we have been working all the way through. Pretty much. But,
what would be a reasonable starting price for a decent high-top automatic or semi-auto camper van? Your first problem is your auto. Not much about.
Yeah, you're talking maybe Ford, aren't you?
Yeah, you're probably talking $4 or $5 grand on top of a retail price of a manual.
Pretty much.
Right.
Especially at that sort of age. They're a lot more frequent now, but Yeah, it depends what you can afford at the end of the day. There's not a right or wrong answer.
Let's just talk about this. Sorry, forget about the
and what you want.
Yeah, let's just look at this. He's a good starter, actually. What would be the reasonable starting price for a motorhome? So, and we'll do this with a caravan as well. It used to be round about 15 grand. Am I right, lads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 to 20.
Caravan.
Say 20.
Caravan
Caravan what, sorry?
Would be 10. I'd have said 10 grand for a caravan was a good. You used to be able to get a good newish van with everything.
No, starting, mate. Would you not say round about 6 or 7K? I'm not on about new. I'm just getting into it. I want to test my toes. What's my starting price?
I think you need to. I think you used to be.
Not now.
Yeah, no. I think that you used to be. Realistically, if you said 10 grand, between 7 and 10, you were going to get a good van, and you should be able to get exactly what you wanted. Between 7 and 10 grand.
I've got a number written down, Jason.
Go on.
For motorhomes.
Yep.
I've got 30.
Now.
I nearly said 25 to 30, but I think to get what you really, really want.
Now, you're talking now.
I think 30,
right.
yeah.
I think you're right. Mark?
I think now between 15 and 17.
For a caravan, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you see now 2008s, 2009s Auto Trails, what they going at 35k.
Yeah, you mean
13-year-old van. Nice van, don't get me wrong, but it's still 13 years old. People are dropping £35,000 on one.
Yeah, on bits that used to be 27, 28 grand. You know, there was ones that we were looking at. There was, I don't know, Auto Trail Dakotas, 07, 08s, maybe 09s, and they're all between like 27 and 30, which we retailed a couple. And they're on 33 to 35 grand now for that sort of thing.
Just let me just diverse here. Brian in Brisbane, he actually sent this comment out on my on one of my videos the other day, and I was actually going to do a video on it. Why do engines get started if they're a cam belt or a cam chain? Is there a big difference? The difference is, matey, on a cam belt should be changed every 5 years with motorhomes. Normally it's mileage, but with motorhomes they don't do the mileage. With a chain, they don't have to get changed. Is it 100,000 miles or something on a chain, Shane?
No idea.
No, we've never really had anything. We didn't have anything that heavy in, to be honest, on mileage. But so yeah, normally a 2.2 will be a cam belt, a 2.3, 2.8, and sorry, 2.2 will be a chain, a 2.3, 2.8 will tend to be a cam belt.
Yeah, on Fiat, because the 2.2 is a Ford engine, isn't it?
Fiat or Peugeot, 2.2.
No, I mean the 2.2 engine. The 2.2 is a Ford engine. That's why you'll find that Ford do the 2.2 and Fiat do.
Right. Where were we up to anyway?
I'm just going back through it now.
We were on about prices, weren't we?
Yeah, prices. Starting motorhome price. I mean, the other thing that I've noticed recently is when I say old cab on terms of Fiats and Peugeots, which is pre-2007, there's a fair bit of UK built stuff, but there's very little European built stuff around. As in, most of it's already sold out. You know, if you wanted an 05 Rapido, for example, you probably have about 7 to choose from an Auto Trader. So that's also a reason why I think the starting prices have moved up, because there isn't anything around to really go at.
There's a good point, mate, because if you actually went to a dealer and saw a van that you liked, or you saw somebody advertising a van private, it's very hard at this moment of time to jump online and get a comparison.
And then the problem that you might get is you might be looking at a price from 6-8 months ago, and it's so far out, isn't it?
Yeah, because the dealers haven't updated the size.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so because they're leaving the stock in to draw people in for the rest of the stock.
Yeah, like we've said before, we keep a record of everything that we've bought, everything that we've watched go through the auction everywhere, and it's as good as a glass's guide.
Yeah,
probably better.
Yeah, the auction's at the bottom of the bottom, so the first indicators are always going to be from the auction. I think that's where the main deals miss out, is because they don't look at the auction, so they don't read how it's going to go. We'll know probably 6 months before main deals will know how the market's turning.
Well, I think that's why the bigger dealers now are 12 months behind, because they haven't got a grip on what prices are really doing.
Yeah.
So when they're pricing your part exchange, they're 12 months behind on the price.
I'll probably say that's about. Yeah, I'll probably say that's about right. I mean, we've been competing against the likes of Marcus and Browners and so on, and they've been offering the prices that we were probably offering in September, October.
Yeah.
So like they are 6 months behind on everything they do.
Yeah.
But they are struggling.
I've enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, it's a bit easier not having to plan it all, isn't it? Just tell me next time.
What plan did you do?
Well, not a lot. I have to do a video normally.
Give you do. Is LPG really on the decline in petrol stations, the touring cars?
See, this is a very good question, actually, because you do get motorhomes with underslung LPG tanks, don't you? I know Autosleep do them, for example. And I'm sure
you've also got gas flow as well, don't forget.
Yeah. But where can you actually get it from now?
Morrison's still haven't taken them out, have they? Is it Shell or Esso taking them all out now?
Shell have, and they've replaced. Shell have replaced it with electric pumps, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's going to be less and less. So.
Going on to the future with electric motorhomes and what have you, I tell you what, the infrastructure in this country still is just so far off for electric vehicles. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We've got a little electric car that we'll normally just do our running around in, and we when we have to do a long journey, we normally have to fill it up halfway with electric. We went to 3 petrol stations going down to Devon last week, and not one of them, either the one charging point that they'd got was full with another car, or the other 2 that we went to weren't working.
What'd you go Devon for?
Just a little day trip.
Come on, I
was buying an old car, a very cheap old car that might go up in value.
What he's doing, Shane, at the moment, he's investing in older cars.
I know, it's something all the car dealers are doing at the moment. It's a bit of a hype, isn't it, Mark?
It's not.
Everybody's doing. They're buying all the old Ford Cortinas and everything like that, and the old Ford Escorts and so on, and they're putting them in the garage. And then,
what was your first car, Shane?
Vauxhall Corsa.
Mark?
Ford Escort.
Which one?
Mark 4, I think it was. It was 96, I think it was. Is that a Mark 4?
I don't know. I'm just laughing at that there. Shane has a shed full of 6 kg propane bottles. And he's absolutely bang on there, because if there's anything lying around that aren't being used, I use a barbecue for fun. So that's my free fuel. But there was another question a minute ago. Is there a shortage of Cala gas bottles? I think that's coming, isn't it?
I think it started, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's going to happen. I mean, you have a look at all the patio furniture and stuff like that. It's all delivery in September.
Right.
So everybody's doing the same thing. And also, you think about it, all these pubs that have had to buy the patio heaters.
Yep. The world's changed, hasn't it?
Completely.
Yeah. The tangent here. The world's changed, hasn't it? I've been told you cannot buy a new Keller bottle at the moment. Only swap bottles. No new bottles have been made this year.
I did speak. I can't think who it was the other day. I spoke to somebody and they said that they put a new gas bottle online and they sold it within about the first 2 minutes of it going up. And they had 12 replies within the first 5 minutes trying to buy it.
Forget your cars, mate. Gas bottles.
Yeah, it's the future. It's the future.
I'm new to the motorhome scene in the UK, but I've noticed European motorhomes seem more airy and have lighter colour interiors to UK motorhomes. Is this a climate-related thing or a different mindset? That's a good question, Shane.
It is a very good question, actually. It's about as far as my answer goes. I don't really know. I'll have to have a think about that one. Have a look next time.
That's a great question, isn't it? It just depends which fans you've been looking at. No, hang on a minute. We've got answers. We've been thrown to lines here. No. Seriously, if you look at the auto trails, they are a dark van inside, aren't they?
No, because they're all white now.
No. Not now. I mean, general as a whole, they are a darker one, aren't they? Where a Swift are a lighter colour, in fairness. And Bailey are lighter as well.
Bailey are very light. I mean, the walls are basically white. Well, they are white, aren't they?
Yeah.
I was trying to think about the overhead lockers and bits like that.
The auto trail are dark. I mean, auto sleep are quite dark as well inside. Because they use the darker wood, don't they? Yeah, they use the darker wood.
They do, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it depends what year it is, doesn't it? They went through phases that they went really dark. You go back quite a bit and they've got like horrible cherry in some of them they used quite a lot. And now they've gone very light. But again, Swift and Sterling the same, and Sterlings were always very light and white, sort of clinical, and the Swift were more of a wood finish, a light wood finish. So I think it just depends what year and what manufacturer, doesn't it?
British motorhome interiors are very dated for the most part.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah, it depends what brand. It depends what brand. They're definitely a lot more British, if that makes sense. Than, you know, if you look at an Auto Sleeper or something like that, you can tell that's a British van. It's very floral.
Yeah, but it's the market it's aimed at, though, isn't it? Because the Auto Sleepers are always two-berth, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're aimed at the older market, basically, where your Swift or find are aimed more for the family market.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a good question, actually. I'll have to start looking out for that.
Are we done?
And we're there.
Are we done?
Yeah, no, I think so.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, everybody that's watched. Don't forget to subscribe to the Motorhome and Caravan show. I've enjoyed it tonight. It's gone quick, hasn't it?
It has been good, actually, yeah.
Check out our how-to buying guides on buying private, buying from the trade. What else have we got? We might start doing a few live clinics as well. Anybody who needs to know anything, we'll answer it free.
And we won't charge you 250 quid. Free.
Nobody would do that.
Surely, if you've paid £250 for some advice, you should be getting a money-back guarantee, shouldn't you, if the advice was crap?
That's a great point. Yeah, what if you bought a motorhome and after 6 months you thought, I don't like this?
Well, that's a different thing, isn't it? But if the dipstick who told you that like they charge you 250 quid to say that that's the one that you should buy, then surely you've got some sort of comeback when it's like a pile of crap.
Sorry, that one there.
Upgraded from a Tribute 550-watt panel van to have front lounge and separate showers. Stunning with a panel van, won't you? Does the Auto Trail do a separate shower? With panel vans?
I think they will do. I'm not sure which model because they've got 3 or 4 ranges now. Auto Trail. Got the V-Line SE, V-Line Sport, V-Line S, and there's another one as well. V-Line's not a bad one. It depends how old you're looking.
Okay, right. Line of duty's on it, so we better let everybody go.
I was just about to say 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Line of duty's on. Come on, we need to wrap up. We'll answer your question next week.
Right, okay, we'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.